Hi Sagittarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. Let's get right into your messages for the 15th to the 22nd. Welcome back. Those of you who are members of my community, welcome. To those of you who are new, my name is Jackie. So the way we do this is I'm going to pull for general messages, and we'll go into relationship, and we'll go into career. I'll timestamp for the relationship and the career in the description box below. Also, you're going to find a 15% off discount code on my Synastry reads for relationships in the description box if you are interested in that. All right, so let's see what's going on for you. Sagittarius is all about relationships, contracts, contractual agreements, business partnerships, anything. It's all about the 7th house for you. The sun is moving into Gemini on the 20th. So there's a lot of focus wherever the sun shows up for us, right? So you guys have this in your 7th house, exactly what I said. 7th house is many things, right? It's business partnerships. It's the house where we look at the kinds of activities that provide us with the realization of where people and situations stand in our lives, right? This has to do with your marriage partner. It has to do with your significant other, the kind of partner that you attract. It has to do with what in yourself you project onto your partner, right? A business partner, intimate partner, anything like that. This is 7th house is how you meet society. It's also indicative of the lower courts. So for those of you who have any sort of lawsuits going on in the lower courts, it has to do with that. So 7th house is a big house, right? So that we have the sun moving in there, which means that there's focus in there. But at the same time, we have Venus conjunct the North Node in there, all in Gemini in that 7th house. So we have a lot of beautiful energy that's in there for you. Jupiter in Pisces is still in your 4th house, going to be hanging there until next month. We have Pluto in Capricorn, all about transition, lots of change happening in your 2nd house of money, things that you value. And we have Mars across the wheel there, across your chart, Mars in Cancer in that 8th house, which has to do with endings and beginnings. Mars in Cancer is very hell-bent on feeling safe and secure in something having to do with any sort of anything cyclical. So any sort of legal settlement, any sort of divorce settlement, getting into a marriage, how you join up with another person where you become a we, whether it's in a relationship, a partnership, anything like that, you're going to be very focused how safe and secure is something for you, right? Because that's Mars in Cancer. It's that warrior energy, but it's in Cancer, which is all about how safe and secure do I feel in this, right? So we have a lot of these kind of cyclical kind of energies that you're going to be dealing with. So we have go the distance. This is just general messages. Let's get a general vibe for the week. Overall, for just overall life, go to distance, time to go. Higher power. Yeah, so you guys are just dealing with some sort of turning of the page kind of energy for sure. What's the other thing that I was thinking about? I was also thinking about how you're set Pluto, right? Pluto's all about transformation for you guys, right? So you have this going on in your 2nd house, which is sextiling your IC. And the IC, for those of you who don't know, in your chart is your inner world, your personal views, the deepest, darkest, most personal place in your chart. So I just feel like a lot of you are really sort of digging down deep and figuring out what really matters to you. What really matters to you? What's going on with your money? What's going on with where you live? What's going on? Some of you, like with even as basic as the food you eat, because that's all 2nd house energy. It's Taurus. Things of value. So let's just pull a couple of energies on this. Go the distance. Time to go. Higher power. You're really thinking about in the long run, fill in the blank, right? And whatever is not going to be, driving with you for the long run, you're really tapping into your higher power to actually move yourself out of something that it's just time to get out of. Look at this, 8 of Cups, gotta go, right? Saturn and Pisces energies, this departure, change, emotional intelligence here, so knowing that something doesn't feel right. But what I like about the 8 of Cups is it's like a sadness but no regret kind of energy where you might have even checked out of a situation already, mentally. 4 of Pentacles, you're in a mode of self-protection right now. Now, some of you, right, because we have Pluto in that 2nd house, some of you might be really focused on the need to protect yourself as far as your security. right? Watching your resources so that you have enough money in the future, you have a firm foundation. Not in a greedy, maniacal kind of way, but just being very focused on, I have what I have, and I want to like keep what I have. Who knows what's going on in this weird world of ours right now. Now, if you're not resonating with it like that at all, this could you just being in a mode of self-protection and being really focusing on the security that you feel in your life in general. Okay, this one just wanted to pop out. 6 of Cups. Okay. Look, I have to say it. Some of you might be getting back with somebody from the past. You don't have to be. Some of you just don't want anything to do with relationships. I know. I've been doing a lot of Sagittarius readings. A lot of you guys are going through stuff. But the 6 of Cups is not only about that. It's about nostalgia and harmony. For a lot of you, it's reconnecting with old friends. Some of you maybe even going back to a job that you did at one point, or going back to entertain the idea of something that you were doing creatively that really spoke to your heart space once upon a time, and you're returning to that. Maybe you're going back to finishing that book, that project, whatever it is that you had going on. And also, for those of you, if it has to do with relationship, whether it's a family connection, friendship, an ex-partner, whatever it is, if you suffered mistreatment before, things would be better this time around. And so this is like sort of a remedying the situation. So something's being left. There is this mode of self-protection, but there's this returning to something from the past. So whether it's, again, fill in the blank, an old project, an old friend, an old partner, only you're going to know what that is. But there's definitely a leaving and a reconnecting. And because the higher power is in the way, is maybe a challenge. You're feeling very challenged by being able to accept something. That's fine. But I feel like you're really tapping into the higher power, which, listen, to be honest, I mean, who does that better than a Sagittarius besides Pisces maybe? But, you guys are all about, the higher power, right? You're the landlord of the 9th house of religion, of belief system. So it's a comfortable space for you to tap into. And you're just very focused on your long term. You're very focused on your long term right now, this week. And so much is going to be happening that I'm not even actually, this week, I feel like is the lead up. It's almost like the running start to what's going to be happening next week. We have a big week the next week. So I will save that for next time. But why don't we start with relationship? All good stuff though, guys. All good stuff. Even if it's uncomfortable while we go through it. Soulmate. Selling out. Pay attention to the signs. Soulmate. By the way, you guys like my world card? How cool is that? It was one of my Mother's Day gifts from my kids. Like lights up. So cool. We have the idea of selling out. Pay attention to the signs. And before we even go any further, let's just make sure that we all understand what a soulmate is. A soulmate is with us for a reason, a season, not always a lifetime. We're meant to learn lessons with them, from them. They're meant to learn lessons with us and from us, right? Sometimes we stay with them. That would be more of a red thread energy. Sometimes we don't, okay? So there's definitely some sort of lessons being learned here. Paying attention to the signs and selling out. So the way I'm understanding this is you have to pay attention to where it is that you're selling out, having to do with relationship. Now, this could have to be with an intimate partnership. Not everybody's in relationship, though. So this could certainly have to do with a family connection, friendship, anything like that. Regarding these crowning energies here, our soulmates could also be our family. It's anyone that we have a shared soul contract with, a shared soul purpose, You got to pay attention to the signs, though, and see where you're not being completely authentic to yourself, And with that Mars in the 8th, you're going to feel this fiery energy, because Mars is a warrior planet, and the 8th house has to do with other people. It has to do with, how we show up in intimacy, communication, how we show up as a we in relationship. How equitable is everything? Is everybody blending money fairly? Is everybody communicating well? And those big questions are being asked here. And especially with Venus in your 7th house. Venus is a soft energy, but it's also very concerned. She's very concerned about fairness, right? Very concerned about fairness. And she rules Taurus, which is the 2nd house of money and things we value, and Libra, which is that 7th house of marriage. So she's very at home there in that 7th house. Got some endings here. Got some... Why am I smelling chocolate? I don't eat chocolate. Why am I smelling chocolate right now? Okay. We have the 3 of Swords. I mean, it's strong, guys. I'm not even lying. Okay. We have the 3 of Swords coming into this energy. So the 3 of Swords is about heartbreak. For some of you, betrayal. For some of you, the pain of a truth that's leading to maybe some depression. But whatever has gone on here in the recent past, the clouds of doubt are cleared. And you're really able to face reality. So you're at least not confused about something at this point. And you're able to move on from it. You know, whatever it is. And you're just going to be able to see things in a better light. The 3 of Swords, while it is the card of pain, and of course that's painful, obviously, there's some benefit in just at least having greater clarity regarding something. We have the Strength card, and it's crossed by the star. Okay. So the Strength does indicate in relationship that balance could be had if it's worked at, right? If your relationship was tested, things will be okay if there could be balance, but that balance is being challenged by the star energy. And the star in relationship, this is all about, you know, you're destined to be with somebody. It's very much a soulmate energy, which is very interesting. But the star is a calming energy, right? I mean, this indicates a change for the better after a really difficult time. But that's challenging this ability to balance. Some sort of ability to balance something is so I feel like, okay, because we have the Knight of Swords energy, so you may be dealing with an energy that's very, very volatile. That's very, even if they're not like verbally volatile, they're very unpredictable. Because the Knight of Swords is a very unpredictable energy, right? I would say it's like a roller coaster energy. Highs and lows, sudden truths coming out, underlying conflicts coming out. And whatever truth is coming out, though, depending on your situation, for some of you it can be a relief. For others of you, it can be confusing and saddening, depending on what your situation is. Again, because these are just general readings for the archetype of Sagittarius, so I don't know you or your chart. You want to wait for things to settle down, though, before you make a move here. So I feel like there's some sort of tumultuous energy. You might even be dealing with somebody who is just kind of this energy where they get bored really easily, or they get disinterested in things very easily, and they create a lot of ruckus and a lot of drama and a lot of unnecessary, you know, kicking up the dirt, and then they move on and they take no responsibility for what they do. So it's almost like a very unsettled soul where they go in to create a lot of drama. I guess maybe bored isn't a good idea. It's more like an unsettled soul, right? And it creates all of this drama, and then they leave. They'll leave the scene, and they'll just be like, okay, what happened? What happened? Look at this. We have the Lover's energy. Here is the foundation. You might be dealing with the Gemini, but the Lover's energy does indicate a choice, always, no matter what circumstance we get it in, right? Always this idea of choice. And what are you making a choice between? Are we going to make it work or are we not? Are we both on the same page or are we not? Because if we are, awesome. Archangel Raphael will bless us. Cool. If not, guess what? This is going to be like trying to fit a circle in a square, and we're going to ultimately waste our time. There's got to be this understanding that if everyone's not on the same page, you can't do it alone. They can't do it alone. There has to be this understanding of the 3 components that are necessary in any relationship, even if you guys are just friends, even in a family situation. There's always what one person needs, the other person needs, and then the relationship. And what does that third entity consist of? Empathy and compassion, and the ability to really understand the other person's perspective from their shoes. And then even if we don't agree with them, and then it's the ability to be able to maybe not agree, but to accept and to understand, right? Doesn't mean you have to agree. That's the most challenging part of any relationship, right? Especially when we vehemently disagree with the person that we're dealing with and we so dislike what it is that they did and we don't want to listen to any of their excuses. It's so difficult to actually put ourselves, calm down and put ourselves in that person's situation just so we can at least understand their process, right? And that is really the reason I'm going on, because that's very indicative of the Lover's energy. That's really important there. So if you feel like, honestly, you just don't want to do that with whatever friendship, relationship, intimate situation you're involved in, you got to be really honest with yourself. And I feel like you're being very honest with yourself, because we got the Tower. So, listen, people look at the Tower and they get very like, oh, I don't want to see that. I've had many people say, I shut your video off as soon as I see the Tower. And I say a little more open than that, because it's really not so negative. In numerology, the Tower is the Chariot. And what is the Chariot energy in tarot? It's moving away from something negative that wasn't ultimately meant for you. In astrology, the Tower is Mars, and Mars is so concerned about us being on our right path and not staying in something that's not meant for us. He'll put up the red flags, we'll choose not to see them until we just can't not see them anymore, and Mars will come in and help us take something down and then put us on the Chariot so that we can leave the situation, whether we like it or not, right? A lot of times that's the deal. But because this is you, I feel like you're just like, you know what? I am like surrendering to this situation. I just am. There's some sort of secret is coming to light, and it could be really shocking, right? I mean, and just the fact that we have, where's Uranus for you? I believe Uranus is in your 6th house. So your 6th house rules your day-to-day environment, right? But it also rules your health, your mental, physical, emotional health, right? And it opposes that 12th house of the subconscious. So what it is that you really want in your day-to-day is sort of intention with what's really happening in your everyday. And I don't think you can escape it anymore, right? You can't escape it anymore. So there's something ending, but look at this, there's something beginning here. True ending and beginnings here. This is what you're very focused on. Ace of Cups. Yeah, I mean, so this is a couple of things. I mean, Ace of Cups Ace is brand new, so this could indicate fertility, like pregnancy, falling in love, a new relationship. Now, this can also indicate for existing relationships there being some sort of strong love and support. So the Tower energy, I'm just going to say for some of you again, because this is a general reading, Towers can also be very internal, meaning you're realizing, because, okay, remember, this is a Mars energy, correct? So Mars rules what house? The 1st house, the 1st house of self. So a lot of times this Tower moment can happen in our internal self where we're like, wow, you know what? I have to completely change the way I see things. I have to change the way I view relationship. I have to change what I allow in relationship. I have to change my perspective in this connection if I want it to last. It's this recognition that the way you've been handling something really is not ultimately serving you. And that might be happening if you're realizing you're not living in alignment with yourself in this relationship. It's going to happen right now, Sag, because you're having your nodal right now. It's your nodal energy right now, right? You guys are the south node of the moon right now. You're being asked to release and sacrifice something wherever your Sagittarius energy is, because it's not ultimately meant for you. As that's the whole jam with the nodal energies. We enjoy our nodal return when we're living in alignment. If we're not living in alignment with where we're supposed to be going, it becomes really obvious when we're dealing with the nodal energy. So you may be in that space. So some of you may be having this internal Tower moment. Others of you may be realizing a relationship's over as you saw it to be. So depending on that situation, the Ace of Cups can indicate a strong, loving, and supportive relationship in a new way. Ace, new way. Others of you, maybe you're changing your perspective on having a baby or something like that. Others of you, this could indicate you ending a relationship and falling in love with somebody else, getting going in a different direction. Again, it depends. Now, what is the challenge? We have the Justice energy. So for some of you, the challenge could be that you have to get divorced. For some of you, the challenge could be that there is the challenge could just be some sort of deep committed connection that you're involved in right now, right? It doesn't only have to be marriage, right? The 7th house is more than that. It's not only marriage, but, any sort of really close partnership like that. Challenge could also be what's fair, what's not fair. Challenge could be that you don't feel as connected as you would like to in this relationship. Maybe you don't think things are fair. But because the Justice energy is wanting a win-win situation, but when it's in your block and your challenge and your psychology, this is you feeling like something is just so not fair, not right, you're not feeling connected, you don't feel good about it. Some of you are going to resonate with it like that. Others of you, you're dealing with the idea that maybe somebody you want to be with is married. Others of you, you are in this space of getting divorced, and that's like challenging you in one way or another. Right? I mean, that's the Justice energy and the challenge. We have the King of Pentacles in the near future. So the King of Pentacles is an energy that is really hardworking, likes to be in a settled relationship, really does, likes to be a protector of things, that matter to him or her, right? We don't really go with the gender thing here. It could be either gender, but doesn't have a shred of patience for anyone looking to take what's his. So this is the kind of energy where it's like, all right, listen, if you're trying to change me, no. This is how I am in relationship. If you're trying to come after my money, no, not allowing it. It's that kind of thing. And this is in the near future. So obviously, if there's some sort of divorce situation going on, there being some sort of bickering regarding, money, some sort of finances. But I have to say, I feel like, even though Pluto is in your 2nd house, because we have Venus and the North Node and the Sun all in Gemini, all in your 7th, that has to do with contracts, I'm not really mad at it. There's going to be tension though, because that Mars is in the 8th house, which is where there's endings and beginnings. But the contract area, it has a lot of really nice energy, to be honest with you. I do like it. And this Venus energy is also going to be sextiling, and this focus is going to be sextiling the house of negotiations. So I feel like that would end up going in your favor if you're resonating with it like that. But also in the same way, the King of Pentacles it doesn't have to do with money. Again, when I say mental, physical, emotional connection, this could be somebody not having any patience for anyone looking to change them. Sag, you have to know that about yourself. You guys need some autonomy in relationship, otherwise you feel suffocated. You always have that backpack at the door, metaphorically speaking, of course. You love to travel, you love to learn, you love to explore, you love higher-mindedness. This is all you, right? Different belief systems, strong integrity, all of that. So if somebody wants to come in and challenge your integrity, or if they want to tell you that you can't go and do and be what your soul is feeling the need to explore, that's going to feel like very claustrophobic for you. So that could be really tricky, because it's going to end up making you feel, getting a lot of anxiety here is the final outcome energy, a lot of overwhelm. You might have trouble sleeping. That's why I always call this the 3 a.m. card. It's like those ruminating thoughts that you can't quite get in front of. But generally speaking, it's not responding well to the external stress, because your exact way out of something isn't very clear. And going back to this energy, pay attention to the signs. That's the Tower, because that's what Mars wants us to do in the Tower. And then we have this idea of selling out. King of Pentacles, no patience, not selling out. Make sure you don't. I kind of feel like you guys had something similar to this last week. I'd be lying if I said I remember every single one, as I don't. The messages fall out of my head when I read them. Let's see what we have here. Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups in reverse, the Temperance, Two of Swords, Four of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. Oh, this is interesting. What did I just say? Queen of Cups in reverse. Smothered, right? Like claustrophobic, smothered. Insecurity. You might be dealing with somebody who's really, really insecure. But we have you coming, clarifying you here. We have the Queen of Wands. And this is just like, I want to step into my power. And this person's like, no. And you're like, wait a minute, what? We need to sit down and temper this situation. We have to figure out, what do you need? What do I need? What does the situation need? And the Temperance really is a new level of trust and patient cooperation can be had after a difficult time period. But only if everybody's eyes and ears are open, because there's got to be cooperation and moderation here in order for the healing to happen. But I see you just still being at this cross purpose. You're at this stalemate, this emotional stalemate with yourself, cross purposes. You know, but you have to, and you want to protect yourself. I get that. But whatever situation you're dealing with here isn't going away. So you're way better off resolving it now. You know, saying whatever has to be said, stand your ground, get it out. Get it out. You're going to be happy you did. We have the Four of Wands energy. Now, the Four of Wands this does indicate a new partner opening up their heart and expressing their love and affection for you. This is kind of like a honeymoon energy, to be honest with you. Very auspicious energy for creating, right? Having to do with pregnancy. This is one of the pregnancy energies as well. But having to do with this strong foundation. But I feel like that has a lot to do with what you're confused about. Because with the emotional stalemate, it really, the Two of Swords, it really is like, what is my truth, right? Because swords are truth. I have two truths here. Which one am I resonating with it the most right now? And you really want to go after the one that's going to give you the strongest foundation, that you're going to be able to grow in, that you're going to be able to have that energy, that sharing with. Seven of Pentacles here is the final outcome energy. Be patient. There's a lot of patience that's necessary right now. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. So this is kind of like there's a lot of reciprocity here. There's collaborating together. There's working on it. We have the 6, 7, and the Three of Pentacles. This is working on it. Now, for some of you, this is going to be working on your patience to just be like, all right, I have to get through this. Let me do what I need to do. And then I'm going to move my life forward. Others of you, it's keep at it, right? Whatever your situation is, don't give up on it. Really try to just collaborate and figure things out together. Even though it might be uncomfortable, try your best to figure things out. Yeah, I mean, just like what is... You know, when I've been getting this energy from a lot of the signs, I just feel like this separateness, this focused on self thing, and not in a selfish way. It's part of the human condition. We always want to look out for ourselves, of course, right? But also part of the human condition is that we need people. We need each other. So there's always this thing where whenever we come into relationships, again, I always say, we bring our museum of experience into every relationship, and so does the energy that we're dealing with. Their wants, needs, desires, their own subjective take on what's possible in the relationship. And there's always that, you know, romanticizing about what the relationship can be that we end up projecting naturally onto the relationship. And that's why we get so bummed out when people act in a way we're like, why are you acting like that? You could do better. Well, maybe they just don't want to, and we don't want to accept that, right? We end up projecting things that we want, and they do it to us too. And that's where I always say it's so important to understand those three elements of relationship. It's you, it's them, and it's the third entity is the relationship, and that could be so uncomfortable. I like you, Cupid's arrow, love call, passion. All right, so some of you might be getting the Tower as you are ridiculously, energetically, and spiritually pulled toward a new partner. like some sort of partner here. That's the Temperance energy, and that's the Tower energy. Those are versions of that. And the reason I'm seeing that is because it's like, oh, hey, someone likes you, romance is blooming. But we have this idea of many options, unconventional stringing along here. Cupid's arrow, right? This is about somebody coming in, but then we have addiction, which is about imbalance. So it's like Cupid's arrow hits you and it sends you into a tizzy where it's some sort of like, there's some sort of imbalance in this connection. It's too much on one way or the other. We have love calls coming in. Then we have the empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enabling boundaries. So we have this addiction, keys on a ring, this, you know, it could be some possible narcissistic energy, but there's a lot of passion here. Oh my gosh, insane chemistry. And then we have meeting up, savoring the moment. Okay, that's very specific. This is very, very specific. This is very Mars and Cancer in the 8th. Okay, some of you are going to be in that space, but I just, you know, if you're in that, if you're resonating with this last pull here, Sag, just watch your heart, watch yourself. Don't sell out for something that seems, because it's almost like a take my breath away kind of energy here. And it might be at the expense of something else, so just be careful with that. Okay. All right, my friends, that's what I have for that. I kind of wasn't expecting that. But sometimes that's the way it goes. All right, let's go on to career. You know, career, money, any kind of financial situation. If you're getting divorced, if you're dealing with some sort of inheritance, insurance payout, anything like that. Anything like that. So let's pull a couple crowning for money, money, money. So it could even be money that's coming to you through your partner, anything like that, right? So remember, you have changes going on here. Pluto and Capricorn, right? In that second house for you. And the 8th house is also a money energy as well. So, and you have, you know, that Mars and Cancer in there. So let's see. We have Imagine. Good. Use your creativity. TikTok. Cool. Taking a chance. I like these. So imagine, really, like, let yourself go there. Let yourself go there in your mind about, oh, if I got that money, or if I opened my business, or if I got that job, or if I made that investment, if I did whatever it is. Could even have to do with buying a home, selling a home, anything with money. TikTok, the clock's ticking. And then come to the edge. So, you know, lean into the discomfort of something. Lean into where you're like, I don't know how safe I feel, how comfortable I feel doing that, whatever it is. Let's use the Chakra Tarot for this one. Ace of Cups. And the Moon. Okay. So there could be some sort of job that you're looking to do, and it could be because where you're at right now, having to do with career or money, you might achieve something, but ultimately feel like, you know, was it really worth the effort kind of thing, where emotions run high. You might be dealing with very sensitive colleagues, or you might feel like you need to protect yourself from others' negativity. You know that kind of energy I'm talking about. And money matters might even be stable, but you want more satisfaction from work than just a basic paycheck, or you want more from a situation than just like a basic thrown at you offer. So you may be feeling this level of disappointment in something, right? Because that is that Moon energy, because it's a crisis of faith, and there being this sort of illusion about something. You could even feel a little vulnerable. Some of you may even be feeling kind of vulnerable, having to do with some sort of new something. So it's a new venture, a new job, some sort of new opportunity, feeling rather vulnerable, having to do with it. But you want to make sure you don't get in your own way, and that you are not making excuses. Not that Sagittarians do, but we have to keep in alignment with the cards. The Moon energy does rule Cancer, the 4th house of the stories that we tell ourselves, and sometimes our emotions play tricks on us when we're feeling vulnerable, right? That's just the way it goes. So let's see what here. Ace of Wands coming into this energy. So this is good. We got a lot of aces in this, Sag, which I like. This is very auspicious for all areas of your life, honestly. This is new beginnings. So this, for some of you, this is a new business, a new project, new enterprise of some kind of idea. Conception of a new idea as well. But it's really kind of like this new beginning, this new stage of creativity, lots of motivation, just a lot of drive. And again, because we have Uranus in Taurus, because Taurus is a money energy in your 6th house, which rules your day-to-day work environment, and we have Pluto, transformation, in your 2nd house of money, I really see things happening for you here. I don't know, again, what else is aspecting in your chart, but generally, that's what I'm seeing for Sagittarians here. For the archetype, as we mentioned, the Ace of Cups, this beautiful new beginning that really speaks to your heart space, but you may be feeling like, I don't know, is it worth it? You might be feeling very vulnerable, very insecure, but then we have the crowning energy, and the best to be achieved is the Ace of Coins. Really great for happiness and contentment, getting what you really want, money coming to you quickly, or you're at least shown how to achieve what it is that you want in order to have that foundation of stability that you really, really want. Don't doubt your good luck in this energy. This is like you deserve a kind of thing. Now, the foundation right now, so you might be listening to this and be like, I don't know what you're talking about, woman, because right now I'm dealing with some pain, some sort of truth coming out. Somebody betrayed me. I'm really bummed out about this whole area of my life. Many of you may be feeling that right now. But the thing is, I feel like whatever's happening right now is going to end up becoming very clarified. Where the moon can be confusing, the Three of Swords clarifies things. The confusion is gone anyway. It's almost like you realize something. There's a realization of something. Now, for some of you, could be realizing your marriage is over, and this is where you're going to be figuring out the financial aspects of it. Some of you are going to be realizing that business partnership is over and it needs to change, right? Or that job, whatever it is, something needs to change. So there's a lot of change going on here, but we know this. We have this Two of Swords, cross purposes, right? Again, you know, emotional stalemate with yourself. This is a moon in Libra energy. So moon is your emotions in Libra. Being ruled by Venus is that 7th house of contracts and partnerships. And so certainly if it has to do with anything regarding the lower courts, if it has to do with anything having to do with marriage, if it has anything to do with any kind of contractual agreement, you just being like at cross purposes. What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Now we have the Queen of Wands as the external energy that's influencing you. So the Queen of Wands in the reverse is somebody who is kind of cold, somebody who's aggressive, somebody who's very like apathetic. It's very difficult to deal with a very apathetic energy because it's like they really just don't care. It's like whatever, like that cold, yet they're aggressive kind of thing. So you may be dealing with an energy like that, and whatever it is that you're dealing with, not a comfortable energy. So you're kind of confused. So we have the Princess of Wands as your block, which is equivalent in other decks. It's equivalent to the Page of Wands. So this is about, you know, this is in your psychology position though. This is not really happening out in the 3D, but this is you feeling like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work. You know, because Page indicates a new cycle, and Wands are will, passion, and motivation. I don't know if it's going to be able to work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to start this over the way that I want. I don't know if that offer or whatever we're going to settle on or whatever I'm going to be dealing with is really what I want. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. I'm not sure, right? Because this energy can be a challenge because the Page of Wands is like, all right, this is the job and this is the salary. This is the settlement. This is that. This is what we're going to give you for your house. Although everybody's overpaying for houses right now, so it's probably not that, but it could be. You never know. So anything like that. But you being challenged by it's not as much as you thought it was going to be, and you're like, I don't know, I was really expecting more. Like the idea of it, the idea of getting into that job or having that project accepted or working in that place or making that sale, the theory of it's good. So you're probably going to go with it, but you're challenged because there's something that doesn't feel like it's enough for you. Okay, And then we have the death energy in the near future. So this could be a possible ending of a business connection or an avenue of money for you. And even though things might be tough initially, this energy does indicate that there's something new on the horizon, right? Just be patient, hang in there, because it's Scorpio, right? Scorpio, the modern ruler, is Pluto. So where there's an ending, there's a new beginning. So there's something very cyclical happening for you right now. This is an 8th house energy. You do have Mars and Cancer in there. So there might be some battling it out when it comes to something like that, having to do with somebody else's money, okay? But that's okay. Like there's going to be a new approach to something. And then we have the 6 of coins here, which I like this because it's about reciprocity. So for some of you, you're going to be understanding this as a really good energy for property, inheritance, generosity and support having to do with finances, especially if you've been struggling financially, things improving or money coming to you. Someone from your past offering you some sort of support, or you offering it to them, or it could just be this thing where I have your back, you have mine, but there's this element of reciprocity. So for a property, it could certainly be like, yes, you give me your money, I give you my house kind of thing, or you being able to sell off some sort of other investment, or you coming to terms in a healthy way with a divorce settlement or an inheritance settlement, something like that, ultimately. But you're going to have to lean into something. You may not feel completely comfortable with it. Again, lean into wherever the discomfort is, and it does seem like it's going to go well for you. So that's what I see for you guys. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.